Hey Soul Tribe, Tracy here with Sweet Spot E-Magazine. Thank you so very much for the likes, views, subscribes, comments, the generous donations in all forms, everything. I appreciate it all. We're going to ring the bell. We're going to go ahead and clear out the energy, and then we'll see what the message the Spirit has for us. Grand Rising KIV. And I'm just getting over allergies, something had me down this weekend. But somebody is stressed and they're thinking about things and they're wondering if they made the right decision whenever it came to what they called was cutting you off. Hey Melissa, now they're remembering this person that they allowed to come in between y'all. Go. Hey Straight Cheese. Hey Red Violet. How they allowed someone to come in between y'all, and how they watched that person sit back, like after it was all said and done, with this silly grin. You know, one of those ha ha, I got what I wanted type of grins. Now this person is wondering if they did the right thing, if maybe they should have not taken that route. Bottom of the deck, the Chariot. Something is moving forward. Yeah, they sat there. This person that they allowed to come in between y'all. They watching this person, like this person is now feel like they're moving forward. You know, like they really got something. You know, like they're really investing in something. Hey, Nuclear Orange, how are you? See, this person, they thought that they was starting off new. Like this person was going to end up, in this happily ever after. But now somebody is seeing the truth. They're definitely seeing the truth about this entire situation. And the truth was they feel like their ego got in the way. This person is now looking at you and how things are starting to turn around for you. Like when they made a decision, things are starting to turn around for you. And this is what you get, good karma, because you know what? You allowed your intuition to lead and guide and direct your steps. You weren't just sitting here allowing your ego to say, I'm going to do this, that's going to be it, and they are going to pay for this. It wasn't even like that at all. Whereas somebody is looking back and they're seeing how they were manipulated, how they were lied to, how they were bamboozled. And this person that they had worked with for a while, it's like they allowed themselves to buy into a dream, to buy into a fantasy. Did I say hello, Straight Cheese? Now this person is something about their money. It's like they're trying to hold back. It's like they're trying to save their money. But I feel like what they're trying to save is so that it's like now they're trying to save their money because some information has come out. Something has come out that they didn't see before. They didn't take into consideration before. And I feel like it's something that you told them in the past. But now it's coming to light. Now it's actually here. Something that you told them is happening now. Yeah, it is happening now. And they refused to see it in the past. They refused to understand what it was that you was trying to explain to them, what you was trying to show them and tell them and teach them. Because they were in, like I said, they were leading with their ego. They were letting their pride make all these decisions. But now that this person has done this action without thinking about it, now they find themselves in a position and they don't know which way to turn. Someone is understanding now exactly what you see, what you said. Now they're seeing the light. And this was after they made a judgment call. See, I feel like this person decided that they was going to punish you by walking away. Or if you said, I can't do this, this is not healthy for me. They allowed you to go thinking, well, bye, like, bye, bitch. And they expected you to come back in. They expected you to be back. But now they're finding out things ain't turning out like that. They're not turning out like that at all. They're seeing that they took some type of reckless action without thinking, whereas they should have used their mind. They should have thought about everything. They should have looked at all the facts. They should have had discernment. You know, this person is like they say, what comes around goes back around, and it's coming back around. Speaking of comes around and goes around. No. I feel like this person is something about, I feel like, you know what? This person is watching you. And you don't necessarily have to be a man, but you're in that boss energy. And they're seeing you clearly now. They're seeing you for who you truly are. Hold on, y'all. Let me put her little butt outside before I have to yell at her. Hold on. Go. 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 Sorry about that. She gets on that last nerve. She will sit there and ask to come in just to ask to go back outside. Yeah, it's like this person is actually seeing you clearly now. You know, like you've bossed up. You've done something. And but you know, and it's like they're serious. They're realizing that, you know, you are independent by yourself. Hey, her Tarot Fool's Journey podcast. You've bossed up. You don't need them. Now this person understands that they should have given you your flowers whenever they had the opportunity. But whenever they walked away, or whenever they walked away, they felt like they were left out in the cold, not you. Yeah, somebody's had some time to do some thinking, some contemplating, some deep reflection. And they're realizing how this group that they were hanging around, these people that they were hanging around, they're realizing it was that group that got them off track. And you know, now they understand, you know, how they were trying to stick these swords in your back. And like I said, this person is now realizing or wondering or stressed out if they even made the right decision. They should have had their third eye open. They should have, been recognizing that you were talking, or you were interacting out of love. It was nothing else. They were the only ones that was in their ego. It's like we have 666. Someone is realizing that they had this thought about them as being some type of winner, as being victorious about this whole situation. But now they realize that, you know what, that victory was no victory at all. They should have given to you equally, just like you were giving to them. They're wondering if there's any chance to heal this whole situation. Somebody wants to, I feel like somebody has been told some information, or somebody had received some type of communication from a father figure, somebody that they look up to. They had received some sort of communication, and it was about this plan that they had, this direction that they took. And I feel like this person was told somebody that they didn't look at everything, that like they weren't thinking, or they didn't look at everything, or they didn't check everybody out equally. They were just told that all you did was look at this person. You took what this person said. You didn't check out you didn't vet who was saying the shit. Like, you just took what this person said and you said, yeah, that's it. That's gotta be it. Well, now somebody's realizing they were completely wrong. They should have looked at the person that was doing all the talking, not the one that was being talked about. See, I feel like, you told them the truth, the God-given truth. You knew what you were talking about. You were the one who had the integrity. You were the one who had wasn't holding back any punches. You were the one that I feel like you were following. Okay, are we back? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Red Violet. Now somebody sees how it was because of them that this whole relationship blew up. It's over. And it wasn't because you didn't try. It wasn't because you didn't hold on. It wasn't because you didn't work on it. It wasn't because of any of that. It was because of this person's ego. They thought that they just knew it all. They felt like they had all the answers. Like, they didn't need to do any more research. They didn't need to do any more digging. They didn't need to see anything else. Like, they had seen enough. They had heard enough about you. Therein lies the problem. It was just in what they heard. It wasn't what they experienced. It wasn't even what they knew. They was just going on what they heard about you. Now this person is stressed and realizing that, you know what, they created this drama. They created a mountain. They made a mountain out of a molehill. And it was all because they was in their pride, their ego. It was all because they was listening to somebody else who was sitting here walking around spreading gossips, telling lies. It wasn't even the truth. That's the part that is this person has this person stressed, wondering if they made the right decision. Because now they realize they didn't even make a decision. They allowed someone else to make a decision for them. They didn't even use their own brain. They allowed somebody else to do all the thinking for them. Whenever they think about you, they see that you were their wish fulfillment. They see that you know what, you are what made them happy. Now they're feeling all like stuck. They're feeling like they have no other way to go. They feel like they have nobody else there to give them the love that they need, and they don't know where to turn. Somebody sat back with this silly grin watching this relationship. Somebody sat back and purposely said this or did this or tried to egg somebody on to get them where they were fighting with you, to get them where they didn't want to be around, to get them where they were actually coming out trying to attack you. Hey, Robert, somebody sees now that you're the one that holds the gift, and they should have worked with you. And now they're trying to heal. They're trying to heal, but yet they feel like, you have them blocked off. They're trying to heal from that. When they think about family, they think about you. How abundant you are. How much you put in, how much you gave to them. Hey, Milk. Hi, Milk. What is that? Milk EBT. I'm sorry. How do you say your name? Break it down for me so I can pronounce it correctly. Yeah, and that it's like they couldn't see how somebody else was, being was not healthy. Somebody else was being demonic. Somebody else was, being a devil to them in their life, encouraging them to do what's wrong instead of what's right. They didn't realize they had the best thing right here. But instead, they allowed themselves to pay attention to what they thought was better. Thank you so very much. Hey, Miss Grand Marquis. Now this person is stressed. They're in grief. And they're sitting here wondering, what they was doing. Like this person thought that they was protecting themselves when they realized they wasn't protecting themselves at all. Hey, Retta Sharp, how are you? They were not protecting themselves at all. They were leaving themselves unprotected. What's the message? Whenever you follow so closely what somebody else thinks or feels about somebody else, that's when you know you've done wrong. That's when you know that you're messing yourself up. You're not messing anybody else up. Like I said, somebody's looking at things totally differently now. It's like they are awakened now. Especially after they made this judgment call. Because now judgment is being seen a pushback on them. They're the ones who's being judged. Especially whenever they thought that you was going to come back. They thought that you were going to be the one that couldn't wait and that you would be coming back. But now they're starting to have a different perception. They're starting to see that, no, they're going to have to be the ones to approach you. And you feel that. They feel it too. That you know what? The only way for them to turn this situation around, or the only way for this situation to turn around, is they're going to have to come to you. Their intuition is telling them that. And they know that's what's fair. That's what they get. That's their karma. To swallow that pride. Yeah. They're looking at you. And they're seeing that, you know what? Things are not bad for you. Things are actually good for you. The wheel of fortune is turning in your favor. You are being highly looked at. You are in a good space, and you're receiving good karma. You're receiving dharma. Hey, Latasha, how are you? Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Whereas this person now, they're feeling left out in the cold. They are feeling alone. But they have nothing but time to sit back and think about all of that. I feel like God is blocking this person, is prohibiting this person to come to you right now until they can work on themselves, until they can get better. And getting better doesn't necessarily have to do with their physical health. It could be their mental health, their emotional health, their spiritual health. I feel like this person, cannot approach you until they look at things totally different, until they start to see, the message that they created. It wasn't anything that you did. What's the message, Spirit? Thank you. This person is pressed and stressed. Because, like I said, the person that they sat there and did all this to impress, when it all came out, when it was all said and done, that was the person who left them whenever they needed someone to help, somebody to help the most. Needed some help the most. And that's the person who, I don't know why I could hear somebody like laughing. Whenever somebody found out that the relationship between you two had been just demolished, somebody was sitting here laughing like, ha ha, like they won. I don't know what is going on with this computer, but it just clicked off into a whole different page. What's the message, Spirit? Yeah, like somebody felt like they won some type of prize. That's when I think that was that person's first indication that, you know what, they made a mistake. Yeah, because they realized whoever they thought was in this emperor energy was no emperor at all. They weren't even, excuse me, somebody that was, I don't know why I'm here, there was a pauper. A pauper. As opposed to, somebody that's really poor. You know how back in the day, whenever you had royalty and you had paupers, it was somebody that was that type of person. Somebody who really, in actuality, did not come from a good lineage. Somebody who, in actuality, never had anything to look up for or to look up to. Somebody who it was almost like it was this person's purpose in life to just destroy. Like this person was an agent for the devil. What's the message, Spirit? Yeah. Like something about this relationship that you guys had. Someone realizes that, this, and I feel like this emperor in reverse was jealous of this relationship that you had. They didn't want this person to have any type of love from you. They wanted to create something so that somebody, didn't have anything like they didn't have anything. And the reason that they didn't have anything is because, if you're not working on yourself, you can't expect somebody else to want to be with you. Yep. We have the wheel in reverse. I mean, the world in reverse, the star in reverse, and the 5 of Swords in reverse. So this is how somebody realizes that, somebody was working against them. They weren't helping them to grow, to close chapters. They weren't helping them to heal. But yet somebody was going, how they was just willing to do whatever it took. Like this person was just cutthroat. I feel cutthroat. Just to ruin this relationship. And this is not something that happened overnight. This is somebody that did this shit over time. Now somebody is realizing They're starting to see everything clearly, what really happened, where they messed up, how they allowed somebody else to get involved in something that wasn't even theirs to get involved in. They allowed somebody to put their 2 cents in that had nothing to do with it. Something about something is moving fast. Or somebody might be traveling. I feel like something is moving fast. I feel like it's out of control. I feel like something is out of control. Yeah. This whole relationship, this whole family relationship, something is definitely out of control. They realize that now, especially since that whole family dynamic is over. And they're the ones that's left with a broken heart. Everybody had a broken heart, really. But that person that was sitting here over in the back end laughing whenever things were over, that's the one who felt like they got the victory. Hey, create. That's the only one that feel like they won something. That's it. This whole situation is out of control. And this person realizes this. What's the message, Spirit? Yeah. This person is realizing, I feel like I said, now that somebody's had an opportunity to think about things, they're realizing, how kind you were. What a sweet person you are. How you tried to come in and make things right. You never sat there and tried to break anything up. In fact, this person is thinking about you specifically, the difference in you, what you had to say as opposed to what someone else had to say about you. And what you had to say about that other person, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. You just knew that you stood your ground. You spoke your piece, but you didn't even say it behind that other person's face. You said it to that person's face. That's the difference. And now they're realizing that somebody else had a whole lot to say, but it was behind your back. They had a whole lot to say behind your back and never said it to your face. That's the difference. And I feel like, now this person is thinking about who they worked with. And the fact that they thought that whenever they walked away, that you was going to be the one that needs some healing. But it's really them. They're the one who has to get over the broken heart. When we set out to do something to hurt somebody so much to the point where we want them to suffer, it's never them that suffers. It's always us that suffers. Whenever, because what God can see, God can see everybody's intentions. God understands everyone's true intentions. God understands everyone's heart. God understands where everybody is at. And when we set out to purposely hurt someone, take someone else down, it never works out like that. Ever. Ace of Cups. Like I said, someone feels like now they put themselves in a position where they don't have that love anymore. And it's because they sat out to hurt you, not the other way around. They sat out and pushed your love away. Okay, God said, okay, you don't want collective love? Tell you what, I'm not going to give you anything. Hey, baby boo, 3186, how are you? It's like someone had to learn the hard way. And this is definitely a hard way for someone to learn. about how strong you are. They never realized your strength, but yet they sat here and allowed someone to gossip, or this group to gossip about you. Not realizing that all that gossip, what it was doing was just trying to place curses over your life. Somebody didn't even know what it was to try and curse someone. They was watching TV too much. They was watching The Wizard of Oz. They remember, that green witch and the other witch. They thought it was like that. No, witches don't look like that. Witches look like our neighbors next door. Witches look like the people that we work with. Witches look like the preachers in church. The sweet little old lady that we thought will never do anything. Those are what witches look like. Witches and warlocks. See, this person didn't realize that. They weren't they were still immature. They were still ignorant. They didn't realize how they actually had to protect themselves from attacks. And now they're realizing that everything that you told them was the truth. They're making that judgment call. Everything is out in the open. Everything that you told them was the truth. And this person is having to heal from that. Instead of them believing that, you was the bad one, they should have looked at the person who was doing all the talking. That's the bad one. Especially if you didn't have anything to say. You didn't have anything to say because you're not going to sit here and, hey, Bumblebee Princess, how are you? You're not going to sit here and talk bad about somebody behind their back. You're the person that's going to do it in front of their face. You're going to do it to them. You're going to say whatever it is that you got to say to them. Not behind their back, because you're not a coward. The other person was a coward, was a weasel. Somebody has themselves in such a position that they don't know that it's hard for them to come out of. And right now, what they could really use is something that only you have. That's it. You're the only one who loves like this. But yet they thought that they was leaving you out in the cold, and they're realizing they didn't leave you out in the cold. That whole situation is changing around on them. They're the ones who's feeling left out in the cold. They've been watching you ever since this person decided that they were just going to leave. They was going to keep walking. They wasn't going to do anything. They're still watching you. They're still watching you. And they, at one point, they know that whatever you had to do to heal, you've done that to heal. But yet, and then on top of that, they're seeing how you're still providing for yourself. You're still giving. Your base is secure. Hey, Tia Star, how are you? Oh, Tia Star. Oh, I'm here for you. Email me. My email address is spiritangel1111@gmail.com. What's the message, Spirit? What's the message? What's the message? Yeah, something about, this person thought that you was going to be left out in the cold, but they're realizing that they're the ones that's left out in the cold. They're the ones who's missing your love. They're the ones who made this bad decision because you know what? You told them the truth. Could have been about two people, a king and a queen of wands. Two people that were working together. Two people that were working, that were agents of the devil. They're realizing now that, they messed themselves up. They're wondering if they made the right decision, especially allowing someone else to come in the middle of them. And now they just want to come out of this, they want to go to calmer waters. They no longer want to be in this whole situation where they're feeling confused. They don't, like I said, that they're feeling confused. They don't know if they made the right decision on holding back from you. Especially now that everything is starting to come out. Everything is clear. That wheel of fortune is still turning in your favor. How God is still moving you forward. And how they sat there and watched this person laugh when they saw that this whole relationship was over. The whole time, you just told them the truth. You was being upfront with them. You called judgment on that situation. You called judgment. Somebody that they were supposed to be able to look up to, that was the person who was trying to do you the worst. They was encouraged to walk away from this relationship. They was encouraged that, and like I said, this person sat here and listened to all the wrong advice. They're now realizing that they've cursed themselves, especially talking about you. They should have invested in you, not invested in some gang activity. What's the message, Spirit? Because that's basically what it was gang activity. Gang stalking you, trying to gang up on you, trying to get everybody to say the same thing so that they could. It was a smear campaign, assassinating your character. Because they didn't, this group didn't want anyone to support you. This group didn't even want you around. Everybody worked together to try and do this together. And once again, you made the right judgment call. If you felt like you needed to let somebody go do their own thing, you made the right judgment call. Because time was going to be their teacher. Experience was going to be their teacher. You couldn't do it. Only God could do it. That's it. So why sit there? Why allow yourself to be there and to continue to be oppressed, continue to be depressed, continue to be character assassinated, continue to be talked about, continue to be lied on? That's the whole thing. Someone realized they did all of that. This is why, too, that they are stressed, because they know that they lied on you. And the whole time, you were telling the truth about somebody else. They lied on you. Could have been one of your kids who decided that they would be better off working with somebody else. One of your kids, and now, like I said, now somebody has a different viewpoint. Now somebody sees things ain't what they was explained to have been. Now somebody sees that they sacrificed themselves. And that happiness that they thought that they was getting, that judgment call was made. And when God called judgment, God said, this is what you asked for. This is who you gave to. You didn't give in. You wasn't being positive. You wasn't being honorable. You weren't even being respectful. You weren't being dignified. You weren't having any integrity. You weren't being honest. And definitely you weren't being discerning whenever it came time to protected who you should have protected, defending who you should have defended. God said, I gave you a gift to protect. But instead, you acted like a mere child. You acted like a little boy or a little girl. You didn't act like you was grown. And now, you sat there, somebody sat there and you allowed somebody to get in the middle of a relationship they had no business being in and guiding you like a fool. God wants somebody to know how much stress that they put this relationship under for no damn reason. There was no reason. They allowed themselves to be used. And the funny part is, at one point they thought they was using you. They wasn't using you. You was willingly giving to them. Just like you do. It was never using you. That's the part they didn't understand. Yeah, somebody, it's like they have to go through a cycle. They're going to have to end a cycle. Like they're going to have to grow up. But this person is in regret. Yeah. And we've all gone through that, where we thought we was doing something only to find out we wasn't doing a damn thing, but making life harder for ourselves. That's all we was doing. Digging our own grave. Fucking up our own happiness. That's all we was doing. Everybody learns that. So this person is realizing they was too young in the mind to realize that they was being handed a gift. It's time for them. I feel like this person wants to send you a message. They want to talk about how they want to come visit you or something. But at the same time, I feel like this person is afraid of these secrets that's going to come out about how somebody tried to curse you. And how whenever they left, it's like they didn't realize either you left or they left. They didn't realize they was leaving a whole healer, someone that could help heal them. Somebody that could, that was a rising star. It's like, yeah. We're going to do a little bit more, then I'm getting ready to shut it down because I'm starting to be able to not be able to breathe anymore. I think I got these allergies. Yeah. Now this person realizes for the longest time that this was not a good role model. Whether that was supposed to have been a father figure, that was not who they needed to be around. That definitely wasn't who they needed to listen to. This is somebody who was stealing from them. This is somebody who was telling them to make these rash moves. This is somebody that was trying to get them. This wasn't somebody that they could build with. This is somebody that was trying to destroy shit. This is somebody, like I said, they was trying to steal from this person. Yeah. This is somebody that, was just not even in their corner in the first place. Hey, High Priestess 369. Hey, Jolene. But you know what? Everything that this person did, all the chaos, I feel like this person is meeting their, I don't know why I'm hearing, dang it, it's gone. It's like this person is going to, I don't know why I'm hurt. They met their maker. That's what it was. They met their maker. Because they couldn't hide it anymore. Somebody is starting to see that they're getting this justice for what they was trying to do on the back end. They met their maker. We're going to pull a few cards. Hold on. I got to sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. Goodness. Y'all, I was down and out this weekend. We're going to pull a couple of these. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Somebody realizes now that you are tuned in. You are a torchbearer and a seer. Something about that Lionsgate portal back in August, and you can remember everything. I think this person is now thinking back to a lot. And you know what? Maybe this person at one time told you to get some help. Now they're realizing there's nothing wrong with therapy. This time for them to get some help, for them to, unlock some things that they allow themselves to be caught up. You know how you sometimes you feel like you. Hold on, make sure that's not the trash. Oh, y'all, I'm gonna have to end this now because the trash people are out here. I need to put my things outside. I love y'all, and I will see you this evening. Oh my goodness, I forgot to put my trash out.